Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. If you own a home, you know how much work it can take, whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality. It can be hard just to know where to start, but now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
A seafood scandal. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
On May 20th, after weeks of speculation and dozens of shuttered restaurants across the country, Red Lobster announced that it had filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The 56-year-old seafood chain has meant a lot to me, both ironically and sincerely, but to be honest, I had no idea it was in trouble, or how it got here, or even what its fate holds, however delicious or disastrous. If I may, let me take you on a whirlwind tour through the history of a restaurant that holds a dear place in my heart, one that might not be a part of our lives like it has been. Let's be thankful, let's reflect, let's talk the rise and fall of the seafood restaurant chain Red Lobster. On January 18th, 1968, the first Red Lobster, at that point called the Red Lobster Inn, opened its doors in Lakeland, Florida. The brainchild of entrepreneurs Charlie Woodsby and Bill Darden, investors in Howard Johnson, who realized seafood sold really well, Red Lobster Inn soon dropped the inn, and the place thrived. Darden thought that if he could make it work in rural inland Florida, he could make it work anywhere. So at that point, the, quote, harbor for seafood lovers expanded into the South, with 4 other full-service, family-friendly restaurants. Red Lobster's mission was to serve, quote, delicious, high-quality seafood at affordable prices, and the public loved it. Quote, in most of Middle America, you couldn't get decent seafood. Red Lobster brought it to the masses. Jonathan Mays, the editor-in-chief at Restaurant Business, told CNN, Red Lobster was part of this casual dining revolution. In 1970, the Red Lobster restaurants were doing so well that General Mills took notice. Their first foray into the restaurant industry, GM made Darden and Woodsby an offer they couldn't refuse, one that included making Darden an executive within their larger company. General Mills put tons of resources into Red Lobster, allowing it to expand across the U.S. and transforming the business into one of the first nationwide seafood restaurant chains. By 1978, Red Lobster had expanded to 236 restaurants and had made a total of $291 million in sales. By 1985, Red Lobster had almost 400 locations around the U.S. and $834 million in sales. It's not nothing to note that during that time, Darden and GM also had another great success with a little Italian chain called Olive Garden. After expanding into Canada in 1984 to much fanfare, the company held its first Lobster Fest, a lobster-fueled celebration with limited-time-only dishes, drink specials, and discounts. As you might imagine, this was also a huge hit. The annual event celebrated lobster by releasing new and limited-time-only dishes. But I want to make note of another memorable dish from Red Lobster in the 70s and 80s. Not as appetizing. It was their fake scallops, a scallop-like substance made from whitefish slurry baked in sheet pans. The cooks would then cut out individual, quote, scallops with small cookie cutters. And that's not even Red Lobster's biggest misstep, not by a long shot. We'll get there, I promise. But first, a huge win. In 1992, one of the chain's most beloved items was born, the Cheddar Bay Biscuit. Developed by then Red Lobster's development head turned current Applebee's head culinary developer, deep breath, Kurt Hankins, the biscuits were an unholy cross between Texas toast and French bread, plus garlic and cheese. They were initially called, quote, freshly baked hot cheese garlic bread, served to people waiting for their tables in the restaurant's lobbies. But after such a positive response, Red Lobster decided to serve them tableside. 5 years after their launch, they were christened the Cheddar Bay Biscuit. And if you can believe it, and I'm sure you can, a 2017 statistic says that the restaurant baked nearly 1 million biscuits every day. And if you're wondering, no, there is no geographical place called Cheddar Bay. On March 29, 1994, Red Lobster founder Bill Darden died after an extended illness at the age of 75. As a note, don't know what that illness was, if you are wondering. In 1995, after Darden's passing, General Mills restricted its restaurant division and changed its name to Darden Restaurants Incorporated. Red Lobster and Olive Garden both remained under the Darden restaurant umbrella for almost 20 years. That is, until 2001. In December of 2001, Darden Restaurants reported in a press release that Red Lobster had, quote, its 16th consecutive quarter of same restaurant sales gains, making $534.9 million in sales for the quarter, an increase over the previous year. Joe R. Lee, then Darden Restaurants CEO and chairman, said in that same press release, quote, Red Lobster and Olive Garden enjoyed same restaurant sales growth that once again surpassed the casual dining industry average. Always experimenting with promotional deals, in the summer of 2003, Red Lobster introduced the Endless Snow Crab promotion, an all-you-can-eat snow crab experience for a mere $22.99. Of course, we Americans dug in. And what the restaurant assumed would happen, that people might stop eating crab at some point, didn't. Not only did the company underestimate the appetite of the American consumer, but all the shell cracking meant the customers spent more time tableside, which created increased waiting times and more chaotic restaurants. And that's not all. The ill-timed promotion was launched amid higher-than-average wholesale crab leg prices. It was just overall bad business, and this endless snow crab promotion cost the company a reported $3.3 million in profits, inciting the chain's then-president, Edna Morris, to step down. It also reportedly cost Red Lobster another loss of $405.9 million in stock value after investors began repeatedly selling off their shares. The crab red wedding summer of 2003 ended up being what restaurant business called, quote, one of the biggest marketing blunders in industry history. So Red Lobster took a pause and regrouped. It soon announced a limited-time shrimp deal, a much more affordable crustacean to make all you can eat, and it put Red Lobster back into making money and not losing it. The brand also made updates to its restaurants, adding wood-fire grills and a new restaurant design inspired by, quote, the historic fishing village of Bar Harbor, Maine. For many restaurants, the 2008 recession hit hard, and Red Lobster was no exception. GM put pressure on Darden restaurants to turn away from the brand, citing that Olive Garden's sales were outperforming Red Lobster's. So Darden restaurants also invested in new concepts, including chains like Longhorn Steakhouse, Capitol Grill, and Yard House. At this point, however, Red Lobster was no longer the crown jewel of the company. 6 years later, Darden Restaurants sold Red Lobster to Golden Gate Capital for $2.1 billion. To finance the deal, Golden Gate sold off Red Lobster's real estate holdings to a separate company called American Realty Capital Properties, and then immediately leased the restaurants back. The next year, Red Lobster bought back some sites, but many of its restaurants were suddenly strapped with added rent expenses. According to Jonathan Mays, quote, the thing that private equity does is just unload assets and monetize assets. And so they effectively paid for the purchase of Red Lobster by selling the real estate, he says. Quote, it'll probably be fine generally, but there's going to come a time in which your sales fall, your profitability is challenged, and your debt looks too bad. And then suddenly those leases are going to look awfully ugly. This quick real estate unloading was really the foundation of the chain's current bankruptcy, despite what you might hear about a certain, and still damning, last-ditch effort at all-you-can-eat shrimp. More after the break.
Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. If you own a home, you know how much work it can take, whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality. It can be hard just to know where to start, but now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Did you guys know there are butterflies that drink blood?
Or that there's a species of beetle that can shoot boiling liquid out of its butt?
Or that blue whales are so big you can swim through their arteries?
But there's a species of bat that's so small that it weighs less than a penny.
My name's Maya.
And my name's Connor.
And we are the co-hosts of World's Wildest Podcast. If you guys love nature and you love learning about how crazy it is, Connor and I have over 30 years of experience in wildlife conservation, and we're here to tell you all about them. World's Wildest will take you on a journey to meet Earth's most extreme creatures, from the world's strongest to our world's smelliest.
Make sure to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, hello. How are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
How's it going out there?
Oh.
Is it going good out there? Is it going bad out there?
Yeah.
Pick one. Only one.
What is good? What is bad?
Mm,
In the 80s, bad was good.
bad's good. Good is bad.
Yeah.
Now I don't. Now it's like good is bad.
Yeah.
Bad is good. Eh?
It's just malaise.
Yeah. Just.
Well, we want to say hello to anyone who's listening, supporting us, spreading the good word of Ghost Town. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. We got to go all in on our government.
Yeah, we do.
Got to go all in on those mayors.
Mm-hmm.
They used to helm the ship on many chain restaurants that have fallen by the wayside.
Sure.
It's a shame, too.
It really is.
But we're gonna celebrate them and their restaurants.
Oh, let's do it.
It's not Friday night without going to a bar/restaurant. Yeah, you'd think the owner's name is Gerald Bennigan at Bennigan's, which I liked. I thought Bennigan's was
good.
It was decent. It
Yeah,
was
they
good,
had good
decent.
margs.
They had a thing which a Monte Cristo sandwich or whatever, something like that.
Monte Cristo.
Had like powdered sugar on it.
I think it was French toast with ham inside.
Something
of it?
like that, yeah. Which I'm not a huge ham person, but I remember trying it once
good.
it was there. And apparently people were like, I don't need it or want it.
Oh.
But let me tell you something. For a time, Ashley Matson made it happen.
Hello.
Ram-ba-da-lam-ba-dam-ba-dam-ba-dam-ding dong. Let's go back to the 1950s.
Oh my God.
Let's go back to a time that was great, apparently, where
Yeah, for all of us.
for everybody, it was wonderful. You got a little jukebox at your table.
Ooh,
Yeah.
milkshake. You're sharing a milkshake with your sweetheart?
Yeah, and egg cream.
Some dairy-based, giant dairy-based
Maybe
drink.
somebody's on roller skates. I don't know if they
Sure.
are or not. But let me tell you something. This mayor kept the doo-wop alive. No, her name wasn't Johnny, and her last name wasn't Rockets. Her first name was Kat, and her last name was Joselle. Now, this is a one-off. This is a one-off, and this is a deep-cut L.A. restaurant that I don't know much about. I don't know if anyone's listening knows. You can look it up. I know you know where the Johnny Rockets was on Melrose, right?
I do, yeah.
There was a restaurant called The Burger That Ate L.A.
I don't remember this at all.
It was gone before it was
Wow.
gone probably in the 90s. I think probably me can see it in an episode of like Beverly Hills 90210 or something like that. And it had a huge burger. It was really cool. I think it was the only one. But to me, it was like a place where I was like, I really wish I could have checked that out.
Yeah.
But they tore it down. But for a while, it was on TV shows like Beverly Hills 90210. And you can thank its proprietor, Kelly Meehan.
Hello.
You don't have to go to jolly old England to go to this fish and chippery. I think maybe a few still exist that are hanging on by a thread or maybe not. But it used to be a thing. It was seafood themed.
Oh.
We're talking about Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. Are you familiar?
I have no idea what
It might
that
be more
is.
of an East Coast thing. I remember there was one sort of in the neighborhood that I lived in. Who is Arthur Treacher? Who is Mr. Treacher? I don't know. I only know about the true owner, Casey Weber.
Hello.
This fast foodery, I think, was part of the Carl's Jr. line of
Empire.
Has a pretty tough name. Hardee's. Do you know Hardee's?
I know Hardee's. I grew up around many a Hardee's.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're kind of...
I think they're done.
I think they're dead.
Or they're like hyper regional.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But let me tell you something. It takes a cool guy to run a place with a hard name. And that's Matthew Clemens Leray.
Hello.
Now, I don't know if you know this place, but it is a classic. I believe I may have had a birthday party there. It might be, they definitely had them in California.
Is it McDonald's?
No, it is not McDonald's. I'm not going that basic with this, okay?
Got it.
It was a food and ice cream parlor called Farrell's. Does that ring a bell?
No, it does not. I thought you were going to say when you said, I was like, Fuddruckers. I was like,
no, that's a good one, though.
Good one, and I love it. But not that. Farrell's.
Farrells. Like a kind of like armband, like they had like armband, kind of like ragtimey, kind of like 1930s.
Yeah, puffy shirt and like mustaches.
Yes,
and like,
exactly like that.
Yeah, like parlor
exactly
hats.
Like if you want to have like a nostalgia from a place that you may have never been but you wish you had, go seek out video or photos of Farrell's. They had them. I know they had them in New Jersey, and I know they had them in California just from my research.
Yeah,
and I think they existed up until sort of recently. But it's amazing. That would be the super fun proprietor, Emma Hopkins.
Hello.
Now, I'm going to go over the deeper cut that is going to be on the heels of Farrell's as far as kind of the look. We're going to go 1970s, 1980s steakhouse. Might be an East Coast thing. I don't know. People listening, you might be like, no, there was one in Topeka, you idiot. And I would be an idiot because I didn't do my research, but I know it from the East Coast. And I remember the face of it, not the true, we're going to find out who the true person behind it is. The face of it was a guy named Charlie. And he kind of was like a bigger guy, and he might have had suspenders, and he might have had a mustache. Remember, steakhouses are very kind of like, it's the old world, you know?
Because they're like, we don't like future. They're like, we are rooted in the past,
Yes.
in time and space and tradition, and all their staff are like 4,000 years old.
But it's a chain.
Okay.
Another place you maybe want to look up for a little nostalgia for something you may have never known. Beefsteak Charlie's. Ring a bell?
Great name, though.
Great name. Great name.
Wish you did.
You could thank Marissa Rothermel.
Hello.
And our governor.
What's she serving up?
A bulldozer. Just bulldozing these places.
Wow.
Just knocking them down.
She's the one
like,
that says,
if it
no
doesn't-
more.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Oh,
She's
wow.
just decimating.
Wow.
She's like mom and pop, mom and flop.
Yeah, how
You're
about mom
done.
till you drop, baby? Damn.
She's the true visionary and at the helm of a place it's got a job for everybody and eventually will be a job for everybody.
It will take your jobs
It
from
will take
you.
your job. Tiny business we love to call Amazon. just knocking it. Just the people are still working, and she's like, raise it. She's like, burn it down.
Done. Profits, margins.
Cash, money. No more twirly mustaches for you.
Hell no. Barbershop, what?
Well, yeah, no,
They're
thank
dead.
you.
You're dead.
Yes. Well, that would be our governor,
Avian
Noble.
Noble.
If you want no ads, no chit-chat, bonus episodes, just the good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/ghosttownpod, where we should have a bonus episode up 7 days free. You can check it out. You can listen to it, bail. There's like 80 bonus episodes. Do what you like. Or you can support us for $1 or $2. Or not.
Could be cool.
Yeah. Or you know what? You could use that $2 to maybe, get yourself a fish and chip. No. Well, you want to talk about a different fish and chip, different chip?
Let's get back to Red Lobster. It's important. So after Darden Restaurant's brilliant real estate move to sell the restaurant real estate to a different company than the business itself, in 2016, Golden Gate, the then new owner of Red Lobster, sold 25% of the company to Thai Union, a Thailand seafood company, for $575 million, and unloaded the rest of the company to an investor group called Seafood Alliance, of which Thai Union was the biggest part. Seems kosher, right? Golden Gate likely came out ahead, but the same can't be said for Thai Union, whose biggest business claim to fame is owning the Chicken of the Sea tuna brand. Different business model than Red Lobster. Saddled with the cost of both the leases and the rents of the chain and the business itself, Red Lobster began slowly sinking, with Thai Union accruing more and more debt from the once highly profitable restaurant. But not only that, the seafood restaurant business was changing. People who wanted seafood started going to steakhouses, said Darren Tristano, the CEO and founder of Food Service Results, a food industry consultancy. Quote, "What's truly happened with Red Lobster is that the consumer base has changed and Red Lobster hasn't," he said. Red Lobster isn't losing to a competitor in their space, they're losing to competitors outside of their space. John Gordon, a restaurant analyst in San Diego, said Red Lobster had been on the decline for 20 years, but that it didn't, quote, fall on the knife until Thai Union got it. Quote, "They were totally unprepared to hold a casual dining restaurant," he said. And in 2021, the frayed hems of the business really started showing. Kim Loptrup, Red Lobster's longtime CEO, retired in 2021, followed by the hiring of new executives into key positions, including CEO, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and Chief Information Officer, all between 2021 and 2022. And every new hire to these high-up positions left the company within a span of 2 years. In 2021, Red Lobster also refinanced its debt with one of its new lenders, Fortress Investment Group, an investment management group and private equity firm. During that time, Thai Union took a minority stake in the brand and became the main seafood supplier in an effort to cut costs and increase profits. In another effort to cut costs and increase profits, the welcoming culture of the restaurant was stretched incredibly thin. For example, servers were reportedly instructed to cover 10 tables per service instead of the minimum traditional 3, in an effort, again, to stretch people and save on labor costs. Limping into January of 2023, restaurant business reported that Red Lobster had closed 8 restaurants in the span of a few months as part of a, quote, routine review of restaurant performance. But that was only the beginning. In the summer of 2023, they rolled out their old mainstay, endless shrimp. This means you could get all the shrimp your heart desired from the chain for a mere $20. However, somehow the management couldn't sustain that deal, and Red Lobster raised the price of endless shrimp twice, eventually landing at $25 to cope with demand and improve profits. But even still, endless shrimp backfired. The chain reported operating losses of $11 million and $12.5 million in the 2 quarters following the initial daily endless shrimp promotion launch. Quote, "If anything, the endless shrimp deals are probably as much a symbol of just either desperation or poor management or both," Jonathan Mays told Business Insider. "That's when I enter the picture. I myself, Rebecca Lee, feasted on endless shrimp for my birthday on October 2023, taking part in subverting the corporate greed machine. I mean, I'm a hero, right?" In 2024, Red Lobster narrowed down the endless shrimp to only Mondays. Didn't matter, though. Their debt was increasing. And eventually, Bloomberg reported that Red Lobster was considering a bankruptcy filing. Bankruptcy would be kind of a life raft, allowing Red Lobster to sustain its operations while reducing debts and expenses. But the rumors were flying, especially one that basically theorized that their ridiculously cheap shrimp promotion was what did them in. As you know from listening to this podcast, of course, that is not true, but a very fun theory. On May 13th, 2024, reports emerged that Red Lobster would be shuttering over 50 locations in California, Colorado, Florida, New York, and Texas, in addition to selling off kitchen items and furniture from closed locations. At this point, no public statement was made, and on May 19th, 2024, when Red Lobster did file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, corporate headquarters was still silent. A month later, Red Lobster's CEO, Jonathan Tibus, finally released a statement saying that it was, in fact, filing for bankruptcy, something that everybody already knew. It also said its roughly 550 remaining restaurants would, quote, remain open and operating as usual during the Chapter 11 process. He also explained that the chain would be using the bankruptcy process to, quote, drive operational improvements, simplify the business through a reduction in locations, and pursue a sale of substantially all of its assets. This restructuring is the best path forward for Red Lobster. It allows us to address several financial operational challenges and emerge stronger and refocused on our growth. The reality was, according to filings, that Red Lobster had an estimated $1 billion to $10 billion in liabilities owed to over 100,000 creditors. So, where do we Cheddar Bay from here? Will Red Lobster go the way of other bankrupt restaurant chains of yore like Soup Plantation and Howard Johnson's? Well, do not panic. Red Lobsters are still open as of now. And in an attempt to cut losses, Red Lobster also plans to implement a more sensible promotional calendar with fewer limited time offers. That seems not that aggressive of a plan, and the theories and press are still flying. Of course, corporate greed, people's jobs, the bottom line, and convenient and very funny shrimp conspiracy theories. According to an Eater piece about the chain by Amy McCarthy, quote, Red Lobster's ownership doesn't seem to care much about the hundreds of people who found themselves without a job when the restaurants suddenly closed their doors. The chain's current ownership cares only about money and stemming the losses caused by its own poor decision-making. Putting the focus on the shrimp quietly absolves those who were actually involved in its downfall. McCarthy goes on to say, quote, and so after billions of dollars in losses, too many executive shuffles to count, and 3 different corporate ownership groups in the past decade, why are we still trying to insist that Red Lobster's failure is the shrimp's fault? It's obviously much funnier and easier to believe that something as silly as an endless shrimp promotion could really spell the end of a restaurant that's been around since 1968. Like life and business and my love for Red Lobster, the sentiment is not completely right, but it isn't completely wrong.
Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. If you own a home, you know how much work it can take, whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality. It can be hard just to know where to start, but now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.